Hello, my name is Alex Karekis, and I want to welcome you to the Finding Lost Civilization series. Today we're going to trek to the south central quadrant of Monterey County, California. We're going to visit an ancient native village site once inhabited by the people who are known today as the Salinans. Now, our journeys are not about finding arrowheads or artifacts. Our journeys are about gathering knowledge to spark an interest in others to learn. Also, I want to mention that the Salinan people are not a vanquished race. They live and prosper amongst us today. Well, friends, look at this. Directly in front of us, there's, let's call it a small ridge line here. This is a boulder outcrop. So I'm going to walk on the top of it. Look at this here. There's a mortar site right there. All along the spine of this large boulder, you're going to see where the ancients prepared their food. Look at this. This is really incredible. So as I'm walking, we're finding dozens of places where the ancients once lived. Now, you can ask yourself, how can you tell there was a village site at this location? Well, we'll use one matrix that is sometimes used here in California, that when you hit a site near a stream and it contains a large concentration of mortars, say more than 25, it is probably a good indication that that was a village site. But right here in this area, there's over 100. I tell you, there's no doubt in my mind that this was an ancient village site right here. This wonderful, I guess, montage of ancient life over here. But look, okay, I see something over here. Look at this. My goodness. You see it right there? It looks like a mortar with a pestle still in it. My goodness, this is unbelievable. Let's take a look. Okay, my goodness. Now, how long has this lain here? Hundreds of years, I'm sure. So let's get down and take a look. So this is what a pestle might look like right over here. This is very rough, okay? But here's how the action would have been. Like so, okay? Like so. My goodness. Well, you know, one of the things about our journey, it's not about trying to discover artifacts. It's about trying to gain knowledge. So we're going to leave this beautiful item right here where we first saw it, and hopefully it'll be here hundreds of years later. I'll tell you, this journey has really been fascinating. Right at this site, there are at least several hundred mortars, and I can tell you that there's probably several hundred more that we have not uncovered. So this was a major site. So let's say approximately, and this is conservative, we have 400 mortars at this site that we're looking at right now. So friends, again, let me illustrate. Right over here is a stream area. Again, water was a source of life. But look at this boulder right here. Now the ancients have not lived here for hundreds of years, and their history has been covered up in time, so to speak. Look at this right over here. These are mortar outcrops. These are places where the ancients once prepared their food. This is an ancient village site right here. These are mortars right here. There's one, there's one, there's one there. But look at this. I'm going to turn around right here, and we're going to go up to this. Okay, well, look at this. Here's another mortar. There's another one. But look at this, my friends. This is incredible. Look at the topography. What a wonderful place to have a village site. You're near water. You have a flat plain area here. The rocks here provide you a source for preparing food and tools, and you can live here in safety. This provides protection. Water all around you. Well, friends, we're approaching this ledge here, and I have a report that there might be a very large snake in that area. So you and I are seeing the same thing at the same time. So I'm walking slowly ahead. Now my friend John L., who found this snake, is 100 feet behind me. So we'll see what he saw. Okay, I'm going very slow. Very slowly. Okay, very slowly. Okay, I'm looking at the bush. Now these snakes are masters of camouflage. So I'm looking again, and let me see if I can see anything. Nothing so far. Well, friends, you know, one of the things, it looks like a snake skin that has been shedded, but it could actually be a live snake in a process of shedding. So I'm not going to touch it, but my friend Dave is going to use his stick. There he goes. Okay, he's touching it. It's just apparently the snake skin, but I'll tell you, it's still kind of spooky when you see those things, because you really don't know what's going on, and it's always better to err in a side of caution. Well, friends, in addition to the mortars in this area, you can see this flat plain area right here. So this was a very, very good site for a village. Plus, if you look at the ground over here, it's just covered with what's called lithic material. In other words, there were stone over here that they worked on to fashion arrowheads, spear points, you know, tools for everyday life. Look at this. This is probably a scraper. This right over here is as sharp as a razor blade. So they used, you know, the stone in this area to, you know, make tools, make knives, and so forth. I tell you, this is really fantastic. Now, around these gopher holes, what's fantastic around these gopher holes is that the gophers dig, okay, and they bring out the subsurface, what I'll call lithic material. I tell you, this is really, oh my friends, you're not going to believe, this is fantastic. Look at this, oh my God. Look at this right here. Look at the size of this item right here. Oh my goodness. This is really fantastic. This almost looks like a spear point. Look at the size of it. This is too big for an arrow. This could be a knife. This could be a spear point. But friends, this could be thousands of years old. This is incredible. As I said, our journey is not about finding artifacts. But what are you going to do when you find something so beautiful laying on the ground? Well, I'll tell you what, friends. I'm going to bury this right back here where it belongs. I'll tell you, like I said, our journeys are about knowledge, not about finding artifacts, defacing petroglyphs. It's about honoring the past and gaining knowledge. Well, this is a very dry and harsh climate here right now. Look, I can see some bones right over here. But look at this. Look at the bones right here. Now you ask yourself, what is this? Okay, here's the top of the skull right over here. This is the top of the skull. This is the bottom of the skull. By looking at the bottom of the skull, look at these teeth right here. Can you see that right here? Let me put it sideways. Look at the size of these teeth. This is a wild boar. This is the remains of a wild boar. And I think the rest of him or her is right over there. Let's go take a quick look. It's hard to say what killed the boar, but as I said, it's a harsh climate here. It's probably the worst drought they've had here in a couple hundred years. There you go. Again, you can see the remains probably of the wild boar. Well, this is really fascinating. Aside from finding signs of ancient life, it's always an interest to me about other things that you can find out here in nature, so to speak. Well, friends, directly ahead of us is this large boulder. It's beautiful. It contains well over a dozen mortars. Now you might say, Alex, come on, can you show me something else besides just a mortar? But friends, every mortar has its own special characteristic, just like a fingerprint. No two are alike. Every one is a joy in itself. And I don't think I could ever get tired of finding sites like these in mortars. In the last 2 days, I think I've seen over 600 mortars in this area. This is completely incredible, in my opinion. And I hope you're enjoying this trek as much as I am. Well, this is very interesting. Look at this directly in front of us over here. Look at this. There's an ammunition can. And look at the chain link right over here. Look at this. Now, they don't seem to have a tip over here. So I'm wondering if these are blanks. But here's the ammunition case. Look at this. It says 92 M19A1. My goodness, look at this. Well, look. This is an ammunition can that contains, or these bullets were in there. Very, very fascinating. My goodness, look over here. Look over here. There's a bunch of cans over here. And let's see if we can find out what type of bullet it is over here. Let's see if we can read this over here. Well, it says M80 here. Let me flip over some of the cans. This is like modern archaeology right here. So, all right. Can't tell here. Let's take a look at this here. Let me, my goodness, I want to put my finger there, but it could be a snake hole. Well, let's see. Let's see if I can kick it loose. Okay. This might even be a full can, actually. So let me, with my feet over here, see if I can dig it loose. There we go. Okay, there it is. Oh, look at this. It's full. My goodness. There's something in here. It's full. This is fantastic. Okay, we're going to open this. Let me take it over to a rock. Well, friends, this is the can that I found there. Like I said, this is an old military training base. So my friend John is going to open it. Go ahead, John, and here you go. It opens up there. There it is. Okay. Oh my goodness, look at this. These are training rounds. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, they're blanks. But look at this. It's all still there. My goodness, very interesting. Look at this. I don't know how many years it's been laying out there, but definitely. Yeah, old military training rounds still in their box right over here. Okay, well, what we're going to do is actually leave it out here. So this was fun. This was fun. Friends, as I was walking around this area, I found an interesting plant. There's this plant right over here. See this one over here? And this plant is all around this boulder, right over here, right over there. Let's go to the larger ones over here. They also have a white flower to them. Now this plant is known as the Datura plant. And this plant was used often by shaman because it's a hallucinogenic plant. And there was a cult in this area of natives called the Toachi cult, and they actually used here this Datura plant for their vision quests. So let's go take a closer look right here. In the American West, this was called local weed. This was called local weed. Now you can tell this plant over here, it's a beautiful green plant, and these flowers right here, they're white flowers that bloom. It's a very, very pretty plant. And the interesting thing is if you look around here, everything is almost, I guess, I don't want to say dead, but look how brown it is. So this plant, for whatever reason, thrives in extremely dry and hot climates. And as I said, this plant was used by the Tolachi cult, which used these plants for their vision quest and initiation ceremonies. Friends, let me show you something interesting. In several of these sandstone locations, we found large bullet holes. This was once a military training center going all the way back to World War II. Here are two very large bullet holes. Let me show you what I found right here below us. Let me pick it up. This right here is the slug from, this is a lead piece from a very large caliber weapon. I'm not sure what type it is, but let me show you something. This is the slug right here that created this hole. Look at that. It fits in here perfectly. Right here, here's a, let's see, let's step back again. There are the two holes. This is the slug that I found here on the ground. And again, let me show you. Look at that. So, this is what caused this hole over here. Military weapon being fired against it, and this over here is the slug. Very interesting, very large caliber. I don't know what type of weapon this was, but as I said, this area was a training area used during World War II. Well, as I'm walking along the soil over here, I can see how dark it is. So this is an area what we'll call a midden. In other words, the everyday refuse of the ancients' lives were discarded here, mostly food items. And so as I looked at this boulder outcrop here, right over here, right over there where my finger is, we're going to go up there, I saw some small mortars. There you go, right over here. Can you see them? And as I looked up from this small little mortar site, I noticed this blackened area right over here, and I thought I saw something white. And I believe we're going to see some ancient, what we'll call pictographs. Let me come in real close. Now this might be difficult to see, but right here, do you see the symbol? There you go. There's a line here, and there's 1, 2, 3 cross marks. So this is probably an ancient symbol here, very, very old. Now, as I look down further, right over here, it's probably not discernible to the camera eye, but right over here, there's a series of black hash marks right over here. You can see them right over here. And as you look up further, you can see other symbols right over here. Look at this, right here. There's another one. It's a little stick figure, so to speak, right up here. Do you see that? Here's a stick figure right over here. One of the wonderful things about a midden site is you can find all kinds of items from the past lives of the ancients that lived here. These midden sites contain the discarded remnants of the foodstuff that they ate, so you can determine their dietary habit. These here are shells. These are seashells, okay? These come from the ocean, which is 23 miles to our west. Look at this. Here's a small limpet. So this is an ocean limpet. Look at this. Here's a small bone. So we can tell what they ate in terms of seafood and animals in a local area. These sites also contain, let me show you this right over here. This is called lithic material. This, my friends, oh my goodness, look at this. I'm looking at it real closely. This is what's called a point. So this is a stone that was worked to make some kind of, look at that. I would say it's an arrow point. My goodness, this is wonderful. Didn't even notice until our discussion right now. Here is another stone that was flaked to create these type of arrowheads or points. So we can find the implements of their everyday life in these midden sites. In our explorations, there are many ways to find signs of ancient life. Right here you can find, for example, mortars, food preparation site where the ancients once lived. You can look on the ground sometimes. You can find ancient tools. You can find the remnants of foodstuffs left behind by the ancients in their midden sites. But one of the most fabulous things to find is their pictographs, paintings of their images and symbols that they left behind for us. And right here above that alcove, we have several images. I tell you, this is truly fascinating. We are very fortunate to have found these because stone outcrops, especially sandstone outcrops, are very fragile. As you can see, the weather here has sloughed away the original layer, the outer layer. And it's on these outer layers that the pictographs were placed. So right over here you can see that probably 3/4 of the original layer of the sandstone is now gone. But on those layers that have not yet disappeared, we can see images. Well, right in front of us, above over here, you can see an image that emanates from the center, aligns like an outburst, like a sunburst, a starburst. Very, very interesting. And right below it, if you go down, you'll see a series of grid lines. Now, these type of images are very ancient. These type of images are generally referred to as archaic, meaning they're very, very old. I can see that there were many other symbols here. They're mostly gone. I can see red, a red dye up there. But again, the image is gone. Although I could discern the color red, I can't tell what the symbol was. As we continue our trek amongst these monolithic sandstone boulders, I noticed this alcove right over here. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? And there's pictographs inside. So luckily there's a way to get in there and we'll be able to get up and close. This is really fantastic. So what I'm going to do is right over here, look at this. We'll walk around, and we're going to do this together. As I'm walking, you're with me. Together, we're going to see this exactly at the same time. Now here it is. Okay. Looks like about a 3-foot step up. So how do I do this? Well, let me see. Maybe I'll have to turn the camera off to get my first step up. But let's step back over here. There's where we want to go to, right over there. Right over there is where we want to go to. So our path will be, let me see, maybe right over here. I see right over here we can, okay, this is it. We'll enter right here. So we take our first step. As I said, we're exploring this together. You're going to see exactly what I see at the same time. Here we go, up. Around the corners is where the alcove, small cave is. Now, there's a step down over here. Okay, we have to be careful. Okay, and then back up here. All right, so now I'm entering this sandstone cave. Now, one of the things that you'll notice over here, you can see over here that it's dark and blackened. When over here, you can see that it's, I guess we'll call it a fresh sandstone. So the original layer has already sloughed off. So I would say probably 90% of the pictographs that we're going to see over here have been lost due to time. So anyways, let's enter over here. Okay. Now right over here, look at this. There's a small mortar right over here. So this is very fragile. We're not going to touch anything. So let me step up in here. And oh my goodness, look at this right over here. There's a red and white image over here. So you can see how things have sloughed away. There was an image over here. There was an image over here. You can see that. But all this has sloughed away due to time. Okay, let's see what we can, oh look at this, my goodness, a small mortar right over there. So let's see. You see how the ceiling is blackened? Much of this is probably through smoke from fires that were lit in here. But again, this is really wonderful. Right over here, you can see it. That's all that remains. Probably this whole wall was at one time covered with images. Oh my goodness, here you go. There's something over here, but again, there it is. There's the crisscross pattern over here. These are very ancient. Again, these are what I would consider archaic in nature. Let me see if I can get another angle over here. Again, you can see there was an image right here. You can see the red paint right there, but most of it has been gone. Again, look at this right over here. Right there, you can see these crisscross X images. Very, very, very old and fragile. When exploring these areas, don't touch the pictograph, don't touch the wall, because the oils from your skin could damage the pigment. You could cause the wall to crumble. Yes, this is really, really something special to see. You know, in several years, these will be gone. You might be the very last people that actually see these images here.